Who's the most influential guitarist of all time? Well, I'm not sure, but George Harrison's name really stands out, and with good reason. He knew how to take a simple part and really make the song. Today we'll cover one such song, and we'll talk about why George's part really stands out. I was indoctrinated into the Beatles when I was a boy of, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old. And one of the first albums I ever heard was Abbey Road. There are so many good songs on that album. Come Together, I Want You, that long medley of songs on side 2. But one song that really stood out for me at the time was Octopus's Garden. I'm sure it had something to do with the fact that I was so young when I heard it. It feels kind of like a children's song, both in its lyrics and in its music, which kind of has an innocent quality to it. And only later did I learn that Ringo wrote it after being on Peter Sellers' boat, and it kind of was an escape fantasy for him. But as time passed, I realized something else was lifting the song for me, and that was George's excellent guitar playing in it. He had such a knack for coming up with great hooks and catchy lines. Yes, puns intended. So let's have a look at George's part and why it fits the song so perfectly. Right off the bat, George sets the tone of the song with this guitar line. This uses the extended major pentatonic scale in E, and it goes like this. Now, I learned it as called the sliding scale because it has slides between the second and third notes. Right there, and then again. Now, here's what was played a little more slowly. It's a nice sea shanty-ish beginning to a whimsical song. Now, most of the song is what's called a 1-6-4-5 in E, and those are the chords E, C sharp minor, A, and B. Now, if you're not familiar with the 1-6-4-5, it's also the so-called doo-wop chord progression. And it gives the song an innocent feel to it. But for the guitar solo, which is what we'll cover now, there's a key change. It's still a 1-6-4-5, but the key transitions to A. These are the chords for the first half of the solo. Now here's what George played, more or less, and why it works so well. Just as before, George uses the extended A major pentatonic, but this time it's in A. So here's what he plays over the A chord. Now, that's in the A major pentatonic, and it's got this playful bend, but notice that he ends on A, which is a chord tone in A. And then over the F sharp minor chord, he's got this kind of playful rhythm, again still staying in the extended A major pentatonic. And then over the D, he plays this. Notice he ends his note on that A, which is a chord tone in D. And then finally on E, he ends on an E. So it's really just using that A major extended pentatonic scale and being very mindful of the chord tones. But I think even more important than that is George really captures the playfulness of the song, and I think is intentional with that key change, making us think that we've gone under the sea and we're playing around with the octopus and his friends. I think George captures that perfectly. But in the second half of the solo, it's similar, but it also transitions back to the original key of E. Let's see how George does this. Here are the chords in the second half of the solo. And then it transitions back to E through B and then E. And here's more or less what George played in the second half of the solo. So George played the second half very similarly to the first. But then a simple solution to end it. Just ending on an A over that A chord. And that leads us right back to the original key of the song, and Ringo starts singing again. It's as if George took us down under the sea for a brief swim and then brought us gently back up to the boat. Simple genius. But if you'd like to know the George Harrison solo that really inspired me to play lead guitar, click here. It's an absolutely perfect solo, and it's still a great solo to learn if you want to know simple ideas that have great impact. So click here. I'll see you in the video, and I'll see you on down the road.